And we are back from commercial break, and we are previewing the Week 2 games. And the first game that we are going to cover is from the Knoll Division. This is the Doughboy at Toilet Town.
Nice.
Doughboy has some very favorable matchups, including a highlighted one with Michael Vick. If Kevin Cobb doesn't come back from his concussion, Michael Vick against the Lions.
I mean, Dougie, one could argue, even if Cobb does come back, he's not going to be like the full-time guy, right? I mean, Vic got action and had some fantasy points last week, but if Cobb doesn't come back and doesn't pass his concussion test, Michael Vick will have the most points from any QB in the GFO this week.
It's a bold statement.
And you're talking 3 runs, not the runs, like 3 touchdown runs and 2 passing touchdowns.
Wow, you're saying 5 touchdowns?
Why not?
I will take the under on that. Also, he's got Ray Rice at Cincinnati.
Look for a bounce back week from Ray.
Roddy White against Arizona.
I like that matchup as well.
Okay. And you also have, you got Toilet Town, who's got Rodgers against Buffalo. Now, Buffalo, believe it or not, has a very good pass defense. And again, Rodgers only had 9 points last week.
It's true, Doug, but I'm more of the body of work kind of guy.
You love the body of work.
I love the body of work, and I love what Aaron Rodgers brings to the table with his weapons of Driver and Finley, Jackson now, and Jennings. I'm not nervous about any defense, especially the Bills at home.
Now, you also have Jamal Charles going against Cleveland.
It's nice.
Not a bad matchup either. And Bradshaw going against the Indianapolis Colts, who gave up 46 points to Arian Foster last week. So, what do you predict Bradshaw has this week?
I like both of them. I also like Brandon Jacobs to steal a couple carries away from him because of how much they're going to run the ball. You always want to keep the Colts off the field, and that's one way to do it. But DJ's going to need at least a 40-yard touchdown run out of one of those just to be in this game, as I have the Doughboy running away with this game a little bit with Vic, obviously, if I think he's going to be that good. And then Ray Rice coming back to life. I have Doughboy running away with this one by around 20 or so.
I think it's going to be closer than that. And on camera right now, I'm going to pick the Doughboy, but there's a very good chance I change my mind as we get closer to Sunday. We move to the next game, Bean versus Nappy. Bean is on the road again and heading into the Afrodome. And anyway, we have Manning against the Giants. Got Manning versus Manning here, but got some interesting things with
prime time, Sunday night.
We've got some interesting things here because Nappy has just picked up Pierre Garcon. The Beans quarterback is Peyton Manning. What's interesting about this is that Rivers is the Nappy's quarterback, and Bean has Malcolm Floyd.
A little crisscross action.
So that game will be a little bit intense, perhaps, looking at those two players. But anyway, what positives do you see from the Bean this week, if any at all?
The Bean. Obviously, you have to love his receivers, no matter who the matchup is against. Peyton Manning could be the surprise #1 draft pick, first round. Well, I guess it would be our second round pick. I mean, nobody saw that coming. Doug sneaks in there and gets the Manning, and then Manning rewards him with 36 fantasy points. So you gotta love Manning, especially in the Manning Bowl on primetime. Manning's all about primetime. But the key for Dougie, and I think the ultimate thing that's going to lead Doug to a victory this week, is Stewart.
Jonathan Stewart, he had 1 point last week.
He had 1 point. And if you look at the history that John Fox and any of his running backs have against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's huge. It's going to be a huge day for D'Angelo Williams and Stewart both. I'm looking for the Doug.
All right, well, Nappy has okay matchups when you think about Maurice Jones-Drew going against San Diego, who gave up some points to the Kansas City running backs last week. You've got Mendenhall against Tennessee. He has okay matchups. It's not like he has terrible ones.
He doesn't have terrible matchups, but it's just the good old-fashioned commish gut likes the Stewart matchup to put Doug over the top.
I, too, will take the Bean in this in a close game against Nappy. Going on to our next one, this is coming from the Lombardi Division. We have Jockey versus White Trash in a battle for the lowest point of the week last week. Anyway, Jockey has Matt Schaub in Cedric Benson, and then you look down the rest of his list, and let me read you these names for starters: Cadillac Williams,
Okay.
Heinz Ward,
All right.
Mark Clayton, sorry, and Mike Thomas.
Thomas. Okay. Yeah, I mean, nothing really rings a bell here. And there's a reason that he was in the 40s in points. I don't like his matchups with the guys that he has. I mean, Clayton was traded for bag of chips. And
Ruffles, to be exact.
Ruffles, probably half-eaten. He has very little value on most teams. But somehow he's a starter with the desk jockey. I'm rooting for the jockey. I want the jockey to have a good year. I love the jockey as an individual, but his team's hurting right now. I don't see a quick recovery.
No.
You gotta go with white trash, no matter what his matchups are.
Okay. As far as white trash's matchups, he does have decent ones. Michael Turner against Arizona. And,
there it is. He wins.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it looks like it's going to be the white trash. The jockey is in deep trouble right now.
Now, you had mentioned off air that you would actually not play Sean Green against New England and play Brandon Jackson. Are you sticking with your guns here?
I would for two reasons. I think it's safe because this game's in the bag. Also, and probably more importantly, if this game wasn't in the bag, I would still feel that way. Rex Ryan's crazy. So he could be sending a message to his young second-year running back saying, you're not going to hold on to the football, you're not dressing, or you're my emergency running back, or you can play when this game's in hand. Either way, I'd be a little nervous about Green, not because of LT, but because of Rex Ryan and his coaching style. He's been known to just completely bench people because they didn't produce the week before. Brandon Jackson is the only guy that's going to be touching the ball in Green Bay. He's going to get the screen passes. He's going to get the draws, the runs, the running plays. All of these things are going straight to Brandon Jackson. No timeshare, no coaching issue. Brandon Jackson's your play.
Scale of 1 to 10, do you think Pertucky listens to you and changes it? 1 being no, he doesn't listen to you and keeps with Green. 10 being yes, I'm panicking and I need to play this other guy.
I've talked to the white trash, and there's no panic where there shouldn't be panic.
He scored 30 points last week, and he's 0-1.
It's true, but
he's looking for trades.
There's no reason to panic right now. You've got 3 starting running backs on your roster. Build on that. I just think that Jackson's a better play.
All right. Well, that's it for the first section of our matchups, and we'll be right back after a commercial from Retirement Resources, and we'll finish up Week 2 previews.